Good morning, everyone. This is, I just woke up to another 15 messages. I get them every hour. This has been going on for 54 hours now. This is the last I'm going to say about it again about the Jake Paul thing. I've never seen Jake Paul fight. I've never seen him fight. I'm not a fan. I don't follow the guy. I saw the highlight of Askren and the meme with the basketball player. That is it. Okay? I'm not here as a Paul fanboy. I just hate when two people show up, this guy backs out, but this guy gets the shit. That drives me nuts. Why? Like boxing, you are not, in boxing fans, boxing world, you're not doing yourself any favors by encouraging the guys who don't show up and dismissing the guy who at least does. You know, they said, I'm talking to these people and it's insane. They've spent the last 2.5 days trying to explain to me, the guys, you don't get it, man. You don't get it. Okay, well, you spent 2.5 days trying to explain to this guy who doesn't get it that dudes who don't show up are the real tough guys and the guys who do aren't. Okay? I didn't say he was going to win. But he showed up. They didn't. Okay? How does that make... I don't understand your definition of toughness. They keep saying, any pro boxer. That's what they said. Any pro boxer will tear him. Any pro boxer. Any? What about the guys that Tommy Fury built his 7-0 record on? One of them, I think, was 1 win and 15 losses. Another was 2 wins with 28 losses. Would you guys be happy if Jake Paul fought that guy with 2 wins and 28 losses? Would you stop giving him shit then? No, he didn't want to fight that bum. That's a complete tomato can. He offered to fight the guy, Baby Fury, who built his 7-0 record against guys with 2 wins and 28 losses. Okay? He tried. He did his best, but then Fury pulled out because his hand hurt, pulled out again, said he couldn't get a visa. Paul offered to go to England, and he said, no, I don't want you to come here either. That's 3 times he pulled out. That's 3 offers. Okay? As far as I'm concerned, Jake Paul is 3-0 against Tommy Fury. You forfeit is as good as a loss. Okay? It's throwing in the towel before you even got punched once. That's what is going on here. Then he offered top ramen, and I'm sick. People keep trying to misspell this whole thing, saying, "Oh, he wanted all these crazy hoops. You know, Jake Paul's 190 pounds, ramen's 215, 25-pound weight advantage, by the way, from the son of the former heavyweight champion of the world. Just come down to 200. Come down to 200. I'll be 190, and we'll fight." And I said, "Oh, cutting 15 pounds is hard." Cutting 15 pounds is hard. You know, yours truly for $100 in Ring Wars in Gillette, Wyoming, against a man named Sean Zerk, cut from 152 to 135 in 11 days. Okay? And I won. I got my $100. Then, you know, we watched Jorge Masvidal cut from 192 to 170 in 6 days to fight Kamaru Usman. The very first fight of the very first Ultimate Fighter is Bobby Southworth was 230 pounds, cut to 205 in 24 hours. Kim Kardashian cut 20 pounds in 2 weeks to fit into Marilyn Monroe's dress, which is really weird. She wanted to wear the exact dress a dead woman wore. But anyway, Kim Kardashian is more of a man than Bottom Ramen. Okay? Cut 10 pounds? No, I can't do that either. I'm going to be the full. Not only am I not going to cut any weight, I put on a pound. The state of New York says you cannot have a 10% differential. You cannot have a 10% differential. So if Jake Paul's 190, freaking Bottom Ramen cannot weigh more than 209, or they won't let it happen. World Series of Fighting just saw this happen. I think they had a heavyweight that was like 212, 213, very small heavyweight. Honestly, the guy should be a 185. Go up against the guy that was 264. And the state of New York stepped in and said, no, that is too big of a difference. You can't do that. a professional boxer. You guys asked, a 12-1 professional boxer, been doing it his whole life. His father was former champion of the world, knew that. He knew by not cutting down to at least 209, the state athletic commission wouldn't let him get in there. He forfeited. He said, I didn't plan on making weight. So that's as good as saying I wasn't going to do what I needed to do to get in the ring with Jake Paul. That's it. Again, I'm not saying he wouldn't have won. I'm not saying he wouldn't have won. But you don't win when you don't try, when you don't show up. And these guys aren't showing up. That's it, you know. And now several guys have brought up Eubanks. Eubanks Jr. offered to fight him. What about that? What about that? Eubanks Jr. will offer to fight him on short notice, and he said no. Eubanks Jr. is the sitting middleweight, super middleweight champion with a 33-2 record. You guys went from any pro boxer to the current sitting champ, one of the pound for pound best, real fucking quick. Real fucking quick. Because just like the fighters, you're terrified what Paul's going to do to your second generation lifelong boxers. That's what it looks like to me. Imagine, okay, Doctor Strange comes in, hits the spell. We go to a parallel universe where instead of celebrity boxing, Jake Paul does Street Beefs, the D-level MMA show. Yes, again, yeah, I get it. I get that he's been doing these shows. So I'm trying to make a comparison to the MMA world. He comes in as Street Beef, sure. He fights two other YouTubers, a basketball player, or whatever else they got going on over there. Strikes up a 5-0 record. And so fans, for whatever reason, he's real popular. Fans say, yeah, fight a real fighter in the UFC, bud. Fight a real... That would happen. Okay. So far, boxing and MMA fans in the real and parallel universe are head and head. Oh, yeah, fight a real fighter. So he signs up for the UFC against a guy who's 7-0, second-generation fighter. And that guy bitches out 3 times. Not once, not twice, 3 times. Not only would the fans not blame the Street Beefs YouTube guy, but the UFC would most likely cut that 7-0 guy for making the UFC look fucking scared of the Street Beefs guy. Okay, so they gotta rely on a Street Beefs guy to come back over and fill in on short notice to save the card. Now, fast forward. He challenges a guy who's 12-1. He's 6-0. He challenges a guy who's 12-1, second generational fighter, so who's 25. And the guy says, "Okay, I know these aren't Paul's actual sizes. Again, MMA comparison. Sorry, I got to explain this because the guys on Facebook don't know what a fucking analogy is. Let's say he's 170. He said, get down to 180. We'll do it." Okay, sure. And then cutting's hard. Come down to, we'll just do it at 185. Okay, so he agrees to come up a full weight class. And again, the guy, actually, I'm not going to even try to make that either, the 12-1 guy. I'm not going to try. In fact, I put on weight. I'm 201 now. Let's do this at light heavyweight. So the state of New York, not the opponent, not the Street Beefs guy in my analogy, Jake Paul Street Beefs, but the state of New York itself says, dude, no, you're way too big. You can't fight him. And again, fans would not blame the Street Beefs guy. And Dana White would probably cut the 12-1 guy who said, actually, you're going to have to come up. Yeah, I'll fight you. You pussy. You just got to come up 2 weight classes to do it because I'm not cutting a single pound. I didn't know in the boxing world that cutting weight, I guess, you know, I'm so, because I usually watch MMA and I used to compete in MMA. I just thought that was like common knowledge, cutting weight. I thought boxers had caught on and been doing it, but apparently I am wrong on that subject. They do not. They will not cut less weight than Kim Kardashian in twice the time. No, they won't do that because Kim Kardashian is tougher, apparently. So that's it. It's mind-boggling to me that the people, I mean, they ruin their career. Promoters, you know, you don't put on an Antifa mask and burn down, a drug lab, and then cops say, that's our guy. Like, they don't do that. We don't do that. These guys cost promoters millions and millions and millions of dollars. They didn't cost just Jake Paul. They cost promoters millions and millions and millions of dollars. Promoters know, like, well, we can sign this guy, but he might not show up, and then we got to give all the ticket buyers their money back. And so now no promoter's going to sign them. These guys literally threw their entire career in the toilet, hit the flush to get out of fighting Jake Paul. Again, I'm not even saying he would have won, but when you do that to get out of a fight, these guys are like, in the 1960s when guys were breaking their own legs to get out of the draft. That's what this looks like. That's what this looks like. And again, would you guys be happy? Like I said, Tommy Fury cut his record on 2-28. Any pro boxer, can Paul fight that 2-28? Because you went right from no. Any pro boxer, which would be a 2-28 guy like Tommy Fury's been fighting, to, okay, not the 7-0 Tommy Fury, not the 12-1, 3 weight classes up to bottom ramen. No, he has to fight the current champ. Fight the current champ or you're a pussy. Back to my UFC analogy, Street Beefs guy. Okay, his first 2 opponents pull. Oh, you gotta fight Usman. Yeah, fight Usman your first time in the UFC. Then we'll see, pussy. Yeah, fight Izzy. Take that, pussy. Like, the guy has done everything he can to get a pro boxer. Good record, 7-0, 12-1 against garbage. But he's tried. I mean, if you count both Fury and his offer to go to England, he's tried 4 times, guys, to get a second generational, been doing it their whole life, pro boxer. They all pulled out. All the comments, oh, you must like blondes. Well, apparently so does everyone in boxing, because they won't lay a hand on the guy. They won't get in the ring to lay a hand on the guy. They avoid him at all costs. They avoid punching this man, or the opportunity to punch this guy in the face at all costs. But yeah, he should have to fight the current sitting champion now. That's it. Boy, you guys keep moving that goalpost further and further back. This whole thing started because he was trying to make you happy, the boxing community happy. And look what it's cost him. 4 bailouts. 4 bailouts and 0 show-ups. So, yeah, I do think Jake Paul needs to quit worrying about what the boxing world thinks. They'll just keep moving the goalpost further back on him. Until he fights the heavyweight champion of the world, he's a bitch. That kind of thing. And so he's ruining what he had going on. Go back to celebrity boxing, Jake. Do it. Go back to fighting retired MMA fighters. Because at least, basketball players, YouTubers, have the balls to show up, which is something apparently no real pro boxer has so far.